Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the story behind what is arguably the most famous historical building in all of India, and honestly, maybe the entire globe. We're talking, of course, about the legendary Taj Mahal. But look, this isn't just going to be some dry history lesson. We're doing a deep dive into what human beings can actually pull off when they are driven by just immense passion and a crystal clear vision. If you've ever wondered how a single structure could capture the imagination of the entire planet for centuries, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's dive right in. Right off the bat, we have to talk about its monumental global status. The Taj Mahal is universally recognized as one of the 7 wonders of the world. And it is incredibly rare for any man-made structure to hit that level of universal recognition. Out of all the buildings, the monuments, the temples constructed throughout all of human history, this one stands right at the very pinnacle. It's an absolute marvel that keeps drawing millions of eyes year after year, completely securing its place not just in Indian history, but in the history of humanity itself. Section 1. A Wonder Born of Love. So, behind every massive undertaking, there's always a core motivation, right? But for this incredible project, it wasn't about a quest for military victory or showing off political power. Actually, it was something deeply personal and profoundly human. The Taj Mahal, in all its sweeping glory, is fundamentally a mausoleum. It's a tomb, built entirely out of this beautiful white marble, and it was commissioned by the powerful Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. Why? Purely in memory of his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. It is just fascinating to think that one of the most permanent, imposing structures on Earth was sparked by the profound grief and the enduring love of a husband for his departed wife. Section 2. The massive construction effort. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of what it took to build this. The massive construction project officially began in the year 1632. Now, really try to put yourself in that era for a second. We're talking about the 17th century. That means absolutely no power tools, no digital blueprints to double-check the math, no motorized cranes lifting stones. Every single decision, every carved piece of stone, every structural calculation had to be done by human hands and human minds, all starting in that pivotal year. And from that starting point in 1632, it took approximately 22 long years to complete the masterpiece. 22 years. That is just staggering. That literally means an entire generation of workers dedicated huge portions of their adult lives solely to the completion of this one singular vision. It definitely wasn't some quick project meant to satisfy a fleeting desire. It was a grueling, multi-decade commitment to absolute perfection. And to actually pull that off, around 20,000 laborers and artists dedicated their lives to the effort. Just try to imagine the sheer logistics of that. Managing, feeding, housing, and directing 20,000 individuals, all working in tandem on a single artistic endeavor. Honestly, that level of coordination is a marvel in and of itself, completely separate from the actual physical building they left behind. Plus, they weren't just working with any materials they could find lying around. That stunning white marble that gives the Taj Mahal its signature, almost ethereal glow, it was brought all the way from Makrana, over in the state of Rajasthan. Transporting these massive, incredibly heavy blocks of pristine white marble over such long distances back in the 1600s was a monumental logistical feat on its own. Their absolute dedication to sourcing exactly the right material from Makrana just proves that no corners were cut. Only the absolute best was going to make the cut. Section 3. A masterpiece of blended architecture. Now, when you look at the architecture itself, it is this perfect, harmonious blend of 3 distinct styles: Mughal, Persian, and Indian. The designers didn't just borrow from one single tradition. They pulled the absolute finest elements from multiple cultures and seamlessly wove them all together. And this synthesis is a massive part of why the building feels so universally appealing today. It's quite literally a meeting point of diverse artistic heritage, perfectly balanced in stone. You can really see this blended style in its most iconic features. You've got that massive, large dome that just anchors the entire structure, the 4 towering minarets standing guard out at the corners, and those exquisite, incredibly detailed carvings on the walls. These physical elements are exactly what immediately draw people in. The sheer scale of the large dome inspires total awe, while those beautiful wall carvings really reward anyone who steps up close to appreciate the tiny micro details of the artistry. But here is where it gets truly fascinating. It has this built-in magic trick. Because of the specific white Makrana marble they used, the monument's color actually shifts and changes dynamically depending on the sunlight. It's not just a static building. As the sun moves across the sky throughout the day, the light interacts with the marble, totally altering the mood and the very hue of the structure. It's basically a dynamic, living piece of art that looks completely different depending on the exact moment you happen to witness it. Section 4. A timeless global heritage. Looking at the timeline of this journey to immortality really puts everything into perspective for us. We've got its origin point in 1632, leading up to the culmination of 22 years of grueling labor right around 1654. Then, jumping way forward through centuries of history, we hit 1983. That was the year it was officially declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that designation formally cemented what the world basically already knew. This monument belongs to the shared heritage of all humanity. Ultimately, the Taj Mahal is just so much more than a building. It's a powerful symbol of true love, forever immortalizing Shah Jahan's devotion. It represents absolute peak artistic achievement. And, of course, it's a profound symbol of Indian history. Because it embodies all of these immense concepts, it continues to attract millions of domestic and international tourists every single year. I mean, people literally travel across the globe just to stand in its presence. Because of these incredibly deep roots, it is widely celebrated as the pride of India. Its materials, the laborers who built it, and its vast historical context are all deeply woven into the very fabric of the nation. It stands tall, celebrated, and respected far and wide, serving as a beacon of India's rich cultural and historical legacy. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Is the Taj Mahal just a building, or is it the greatest identity of immortal love? When you really think about the 20,000 workers, those 22 years of grueling labor, the flawless blended architecture, and the sunlight literally dancing on the marble, are you just looking at stone and engineering? Or are you looking at the physical manifestation of an emotion so powerful it actually changed the landscape of the earth? It is definitely a fascinating question to ponder. Thank you so much for exploring this remarkable wonder with me today.